How's it going? My name is Nick Croza, and today we are going to talk about how to record your own music project from start to finish. How are you going to record, okay? This video is originally produced for the Valley Youth Orchestra. This organization is a nonprofit organization serving the kids in Delton, Montrose, Colorado with amazing opportunities to make music together in string orchestras. Right now, the orchestras are in a recess due to the pandemic, so I've been generating weekly videos to keep their spirits high and give them musical material to keep them thinking about these kind of things. So if you're from the VYO, how's it going? And if you're just here on my YouTube channel, great to have you here. Let's get started. You want to make a music project. You want to film and record yourself performing and post it on YouTube. I'm going to walk you through this process from beginning to end. So first, you need a piece of music and you need to know it super, super well. When you hit record, you get transported into another universe where you suddenly forget everything you practiced, okay? Recording is very tricky on your brain. It's one thing to just practice and play in the practice room when no one's listening, but when you turn on the record button, you really need to have the piece of music to where you know it front and backwards and up and down. You have to know it really, really well. So, let's say you have a piece of music picked out and you're ready to record it. So, you're going to need a space, a venue to record at. You're going to need somewhere that you're going to set up your equipment and record. And I have seen amazing music performances recorded in all kinds of places. For us in Colorado, we live in the most beautiful state around, and there's plenty of places outdoors, especially if it's just you by yourself, that you can record. Now, that's a little bit tricky because if you're going to record outside, you probably don't have access to power, so you need to make sure everything is all charged before you go. But that's one recommendation. You can also record at a church. You can also record maybe at your school on your lunch break. You could talk to the teachers and get into maybe, the auditorium or somewhere nice in your school. But if you don't know where you're going to record, I would recommend get on YouTube, find recordings of other musicians, and see where are they recording. Maybe you can find some inspiration from that. So you've got your piece, you got where you're recording, okay? Those are two very fundamental steps. Now you're there, you're ready, it's the day of, and we got to talk about the equipment that you're going to need. So there's two pieces to this puzzle: video, audio. Two different pieces, okay? And luckily, with computers, you can take the video and the audio and you can put them together after the fact. So for the video, you're going to have to use a camera, obviously. I'm going to show you a video today and we're going to edit it together, and it was filmed on this camera. This is my camera. It's a Zoom Q2N 4K camera designed for musicians, and what I really like about this camera is it was cheap. Cameras are very, very expensive. If you want a nice camera, you're looking, at least a couple $100 to $1,000. They're very expensive. This camera is on the lower end of that. When I got it, it was $200. I think that price has gone up a little bit, but that's what you're gonna see today. And for me, it works pretty well. But honestly, the video quality, despite being 4K, is really not what I want. It's really kind of blurry. It really doesn't look that sharp. If you don't want to spend money on a camera, especially if you're just starting, my best recommendation is use one of your devices, okay? Use a phone or an iPad or something like that, because the cameras in them really aren't that bad. What is bad is the microphone. You really probably don't want to use the audio that it picked up. I mean, you can try it out and listen to it and stuff, but the microphones, I mean, they're so small, they fit in the very bottom of the device, are really not the quality you want. So, in my opinion, if you're going to spend some money on something, I would try and spend it on the microphone as opposed to the camera, because odds are you probably have access to a pretty darn good camera. In this video that you're going to see, I wish I would have filmed it on a phone because I think it would look better even than the nice camera I have. So, we got the video talked about. Let's talk about the audio, okay? So you're going to need to use a microphone and that microphone is going to have to get into your computer. This is probably the trickiest part of this whole process, so we're going to talk about it. When you record the audio, it's going to get recorded into the computer, into a piece of software. And the fancy name for the software is DAW, Digital Audio Workstation. So imagine, without digital, an audio workstation is like a mixing board, and a lot of times there'll be a recorder attached to that that's actually recording the music, recording the audio, right? Well, here in 2021, that pretty much mostly happens on a computer. Even in professional recording studios, a lot of the time, some recording studios still do use the non-digital recording, but a lot of times we're talking digital recording, okay? And you're going to need a way to get the microphone into the computer, and then inside the computer, you're going to need the program to handle the audio. Well, the cool thing is, you can actually get both of those at the same time. You can get two for the price of one on that. And what I'm talking about is an audio interface. So this is my audio interface. It's a PreSonus, and it has two inputs, okay? If you're just recording yourself, you probably only need one input, but this is a very basic, very beginner level interface, and it's everything I need. The next level up from this would be kind of looking similar, but it would be way longer, and it would have like 8 to 10 inputs. I only need the two for everything that I do. And on the back, you have a spot to plug in your headphones, as well as these other outputs can go to speakers. If you're performing outside and you want to make what you're doing louder with a speaker, this is the same box that you're going to need. So if you're a musician, I highly recommend looking into one of these boxes. Now, most audio gear I would say to buy used. I would actually recommend buying one of these new, and here's why. These boxes, when you buy them, you're not just buying the box. You're also buying the software that comes along with the box. So what I would do is look into different audio interfaces and find one that includes software that you might want to use. So for me, when I record audio, I use a program called Ableton. There's about 4 to 5 main programs that people use. Some people use GarageBand, and that's free, and it can completely connect with one of these, and then you can buy whatever box you want because you can just use GarageBand. That's a great way to start. I use Ableton. These interfaces, certain brands will include Ableton for free when you buy the box, so it's a really good deal. Other programs include Logic, you might have heard of. There's another one called Pro Tools. And these different programs, what they're going to do is they're going to take the sound from your microphone and they're going to record it onto the computer. And then you can take that audio and connect it with the video. So, audio interface, important. What you're going to need also is a microphone. In the video you're about to watch, I recorded on this microphone. It's MXL 990, and I bought it at a pawn shop for $45. I don't know if you can see that, but $45. That is pretty cheap, and here's why it's so cheap. Microphones are durable. They're designed to be durable. If you get a brand new microphone and a used microphone, they're going to sound pretty much the same. I mean, they do wear out over time. There's electronics in there and stuff like that. But for me, my $45 microphone works just fine, okay? This is what it looks like. It's a 990 from MXL. And if you're looking at what microphone to get, I would recommend, like me, go to a pawn shop, go to somewhere where you can get one used, look on the internet somewhere used, and make sure you just check the reviews on whatever kind of microphone you're going to get. You can actually look up the microphones on YouTube, and you can listen to somebody that's recording into it so you can get a good idea of what it's going to sound like. Now, this doesn't look like your regular handheld microphone that you would kind of see, someone talking into, because it's called a large diaphragm condenser microphone. And what that basically means is it's more sensitive than a regular handheld microphone, and that's called a dynamic microphone. And there's a lot of differences between them, but the main difference actually is that this microphone will not work if you just plug it straight in. Which, what? It won't work? It won't even turn on? No, it won't. What it needs actually is 48 volts of electricity to turn on. This is called phantom power. Now what's really nice is this interface has right here a button, bloop, to turn on the 48 volts. So it sends 48 volts through the input to the microphone. So that's important to know if your microphone needs phantom power or maybe it doesn't. How do you find out? You Google it, you look it up, and on any listing for the microphone, it'll tell you if it needs phantom power or not. Okay? So, you've got your microphone, you got your interface, you got your software, you got your music, and you got the place you're going to record, you got your camera. Boom. You're ready to go. You recorded your video and audio. What we're going to do right now is actually edit a performance of classical music, and I'm going to show you how that's going to work. So I'm going to show you an iMovie. This is a program that comes on the Mac computers. It's a beginner program. It's very simple, and I'm just going to give you a few tips and tricks to make your videos look professional. So I just plugged in my hard drive with my videos on it, and we're going to switch over to my computer. Oh, a little bit of lag there while it was plugging in my hard drive. Here we go, over to the computer. All right, this is iMovie right here. We need to talk about a couple things. We got my media, audio, titles, backgrounds, transitions. These menus are going to be pretty much the main thing that we're going to be using. So my media, let me pull up my hard drive and show you what we're going to edit today. So here's what we're going to edit right now. This is with Dr. Kristen Yoon. She is the cello professor at Colorado Mesa University. You might know her if you're in the VYO. And we recorded 3 pieces. So notice how I kept this organized, okay? We've got it organized so that you know which piece is which. So we're going to start with piece 1, and I labeled them 1, 1B, and 1C. We did 3 takes of this piece, and actually, you'll notice 1B is a little bit shorter than the other takes. It's because my phone went off. How rude is that? I was helping Dr. Yoon record and my phone went off. Let this be a lesson. If you're recording, you need to take your phone, you need to just turn it off, because I had it on silent, I had it on do not disturb, and it still went off in the middle of the session. So learn from my mistakes, people. Okay, I'm going to take 1C, the last take, the best take, and I'm going to drag it in here. So now in our iMovie, we have a timeline. We can scroll really fast through the video. There's Dr. Yoon playing cello, and she's doing great. So notice how she's lined up kind of in the middle, and you can see the microphone off to the side just a little bit, pointed right at her cello. So we're going to use the scroll wheel over here to zoom in a little bit. And we got to first handle the beginning and the end of the performance and delete anything that doesn't really need to be there. So let's play it from the beginning and see what we need to get rid of. Whoops. So do you notice how she is looking over at me and then she kind of gets ready and then she starts? So I don't really want to include all that stuff at the beginning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it from the beginning again, and I'm going to pause it when I think it should probably start. Right there. See, now she's about to start performing. So I'm using my mouse. I'm highlighting right on where that was. Right click, split, and I'm just going to delete that first little section. So now when we start, It's much more professional way to start. So we're going to want to add a little bit of a transition so we don't just start right on the video. So I'm going to come up here to transitions, and we're going to use the fade, and look at how much better and more natural this feels with a fade. Did you see how simple that was? But it makes it so much more professional. I'll play it for you one more time from the beginning. Now, I think you guys might be noticing the audio sounds a little bit quiet, okay? In this situation, I actually linked the microphone up with the camera so that I didn't have to rearrange it later. But let me just show you how to do that. So now I've detached the audio, and now it's separate down here so I can move it off. So watch this. She's going to be playing cello, and it's not going to match up. Right? So you get the video and the audio in there, and you have to drag them around until they match up, okay? So obviously I just split it off so it starts at the beginning, but what you can do is you want to zoom in when you do this, and you want to find a big moment in the piece. Like, see this note right here? Whoopsies. You want to find a particular note that you know, okay, there wasn't much going on, and then she started to play again. Then you can line it up from there and match it up. So we'll just leave those as is. We've got our fade in at the beginning, and the audio is matched up. Now, you guys can hear the audio I'm hearing, and you might be saying to yourself, it sounds quiet. Well, it also looks quiet down here, okay? So let me show you what it would look like if it was way too loud. Okay, see, now that's a little bit too much. There's a little bit of red over here, which means it's way, way too loud. So how are we going to set the audio level? Well, what I like about iMovie is you can come up here to our preview video, and there's an auto button. So let's just see if the auto does good. It might work, it might not. Let's find out. Did you see it make the audio so much louder? Let's listen to the beginning and see what we think. It's a bit louder now. There goes my phone going off. So, just like in the recording session, right? We've got the audio turned up a little bit, and we've got a fade in at the beginning. Let's go to the end and see what's happening here. Oh, there's why we're desynced. See what's happening here at the end. She takes a bow.
I think that's it.
And then she talks to me at the end. We cannot include her talking to me at the end in this video. So what are we going to do? We are going to cut it out. She sits back down, and we're going to use the same fade from the beginning right here at the end. Let's see how the end is now. Gonna take a bow. She's gonna sit down, fade to black. That is what we want, folks. It is so much more professional to just add that little bit of touch, that little bit of fade is really gonna make the project way more professional. So once you guys have the video and the audio of your performance, you can edit it together and then you have yourself a finished product. So I'm going to continue editing the rest of these pieces. I hope you found this video enjoyable. If you have any questions about what kind of microphone, what kind of interface, what kind of music you should record, feel free to reach out to me through the Youth Orchestra. And for everyone that's just here on my channel, thanks for watching. Check out the rest of my videos. I have some awesome music on my channel. Just yesterday, I put up a really cool video of a piano piece from my CD. Check it out. Thank you so much.